So here's Luke Newman. Luke Newman, thanks for joining me. Firstly, tell us a little bit about how For Men to Talk came about.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I have suffered with anxiety and grief for a number of years. I lost both my mum and my sister over the last 15 years. So obviously it's left me with a great sense of grief, and you never fully get over that. But I've always been honest with how I'm feeling towards everyone, and that can be to my family and friends, loved ones, and to strangers on the street. And I know it's really hard for people to be able to do that, especially men. So that's why I decided to find For Men to Talk.
For anyone who's not really familiar, what is anxiety?
Anxiety really stops you from day-to-day life. It stops you from reaching out to people when they're really trying to help you. Even simple things as, you want to meet up with your mates who are organising a party in the evening on a Saturday night and you don't really feel like going. That's anxiety. It stops you doing things that you really enjoy doing and what you've enjoyed previously, but it stops you from doing the things like regular things that you do from day to day.
Sure. I mean, how does it differ to things like depression?
Depression really is a slump. Depression is when you really you don't want to communicate, you don't feel like you want to do things, you go into your own world. Anxiety really is sometimes where you still can put a front on, you can still talk normally, but it stops you from doing everything that you want to achieve.
There's been a lot of conversations about men's mental health for the last 5 to 10 years, and there has been some movement on people's attitudes towards men and mental health. What pressures do you think still remain for men?
It's like you said, it's definitely improved. I do like the way that now that celebrities, sports stars are starting talking about their mental health. Even with Prince William, who's own battles, obviously from losing his mum. He's done a lot of TV documentaries. I was watching one late last night with a lot of football stars like Jermaine Jenas and Peter Crouch. It's listening to these kind of people, more and more of these celebrities that are in the public eye talking about their struggles, which will help us out. There's always going to be that. I tell you what it is. For me, businesses need to be more wary of mental health. That is actually an illness. It is like being off with a bug, a sickness bug. It's something that business needs to help their employees more. I, for instance, have a gentleman who comes to my For Men to Talk group meetings, and he actually had 7 months off work with depression, and his company that he worked for actually paid his salary full pay because they knew the struggles that he was going through. And that's an unbelievable company. We now live in a very fast-paced community. Hopefully, just only one good thing will come out of COVID is that people will understand mental health a lot more than previously, because being in lockdown is like mental health illness. You're locked in your own thoughts. So being in lockdown in your four walls is very, very similar.
Sure. And how much further do you think businesses need to go? Because that particular case with one of your attendees, that's a good case. And that's where a company's taken it upon themselves to have a sense of humility. But do you think that this needs to be a policy change from above and a widespread sanction that's put on businesses to force them to be more empathetic and sympathetic towards people who are struggling?
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Perhaps even once a month have a mental health awareness day there at work. I'm not sure about day, but like a lunchtime break, or bring a couple of pizzas into your employees and just check in to make sure they're okay. What's going right with the company, what's going wrong with the company, how can we support our employees? I think that will go a massive long way, because at the end of the day, a lot of people's pressure is to pay the bills. We all need a house to live, we need food on the table, we need water, we need clothing. We know that going to work is a pressure. We need to earn that wage. So employees need to know that, and they need to just make sure that everyone's okay that work for them.
What sort of difficulties have you seen from men who have attended some of your workshops? And how hard is it for them to open up?
Do you know what? I praise every single attendee that comes to my group. Most of them are coming because they want to reach out. They want to talk about their problems. There's the odd one or two who actually sit in the background and listen to, the attendees' problems before reaching out themselves and talking about their own problems. And that's fantastic, because at least they are willing to listen to other people and know that they're not going to be on their own. the problems can range from suicidal thoughts, which is obviously the worst case scenario, but to even minor things where the pressure at work of reaching deadlines and it can be from a huge range of things. Even now, this is going to sound funny, but even their football team are not doing very well in the football league, and they feel down about it because people, rely on sports and especially football to improve their mental health. So again, mental health can be from the extreme to the little thing. What we're trying to come across is that everything matters.
Presumably some people come back every week. So have you seen an improvement in some of those that attend?
Oh, absolutely, all of them. I'm being honest, all of them, because they're reaching out and talking. It takes a lot for men to reach out and talk about how they're feeling. It is that plain and simple. We've all been taught, growing up, to stiff upper lip and not talk about our feelings, and that's the men's way of living for generations. But these men who come to our regular meetings, we've been having them regularly now since the beginning of March of last year. The regular attendees, they're improving. It's massive. But we all know it's a roller coaster ride. So 1 minute it can be really high, 1 minute it can be low. But if you keep talking, things do get better. And that's what I love about our group. We all have become friends now. So we all reach out when we're feeling a bit low. So we've got even like a WhatsApp group. So if we're feeling low on a Saturday or Sunday, we know that there's somebody on the end of that WhatsApp message to go, what's wrong? What can we do to help you? So it's huge. I'm so proud of every single one of them.
A lot of men listening to this may still feel a little bit, ashamed or embarrassed to come forward and talk about their mental health. What would you say to them?
There's no shame in your mental health condition. It's that, honestly, that plain and simple. Us men have got the need to speak about how we're feeling. We're all in the same world. We're all in the UK. We're all going through the same kind of feelings, especially right now, the last 12 months. There's lots of men who are reaching out, and you get friendships as well. So you get groups of men who are suffering with mental health illness, all know how we're feeling. We've all got different symptoms, but we know how we're feeling. And there's definitely no shame in having a mental health illness.
How are you handling trigger warnings? So presumably as you talk to people and as people open up, there is some risk of creating a trigger for some people. How do you manage that?
Absolutely, it's recognising those symptoms and asking how they're feeling. And we know that it's getting darker than there should be. We've given them the telephone numbers and the contacts of people like Samaritans and Calm and Mind to reach out to, because that's really important to recognise that it's a huge responsibility.
How regularly do they happen, and how can people get involved with it?
Sure, we have regularly every Wednesday at 6 p.m. You can look on our on the website at www.formentotalk.co.uk, and there's an event page there, so it gives you all the details of the Zoom meetings that we have. Been very fortunate that we've had a very kind donation from a construction company that have donated money so we can have Zoom Premium, so we actually have no limit of how long the meetings go on for. But like I said, we have the WhatsApp group as well, which we check in from time to time with all the attendees. I think we'll also, what I'd like to say is that we also have very good guest presenters on. So we have people who have got experience of mental health that talk about the good nutrition. That we all know that having good food in your diet is good for your mental health. But we also know that men don't talk about their physical health as well. So we have people in from Prostate Cancer UK who talk about the symptoms of prostate cancer, because I don't know if people know that 1 in 8 men will have prostate cancer in their lifetime, and 1 in 4 black men will have prostate cancer in their lifetime. So it's important to know about the symptoms of cancer, such as prostate cancer and testicular cancer as well.
Luke Newman there for Men to Talk. What a great conversation. Some stark statistics right there. But if you run over to the website formentotalk.co.uk, all the information's there. Do reach out if you're experiencing difficult times